we are required to write an algorithm to find the second largest of four unequal numbers. What it means is we got an input something like this 1, 2, 3, and 4, or it could be 2, 1, 4, and 3. I am required to find the second largest. So in the first case it will be 3, in the second case also it will be 3. Now in order to find the second largest, I will require four variables whose names I am giving as A, B, C and D. So A, B, C, D are going to contain these values 1, 2, 3, 4 or any other values, unequal values the user is going to enter. Then I'm going to have one variable called as second large to store the second largest value, and I'm going to have another variable called as largest to store the largest value. Alright, now the very first step is I'm going to declare four variables A, B, C and D, and then I'm going to have two additional variables called as large and second large. Then my next step is I'm going to ask the user enter the values of A, B, C and D. So I'm going to read the values of A, B, C and D from the keyboard. Now once I read the values of A, B, C and D from the keyboard, my next step is I am going to process one variable at a time. So in my case, the first variable I am going to deal with is going to be A. So what I'm going to do when I'm looking at A is, since A is the only variable available, my large will be A as well, my second large will also be A, because at this point I have not seen any other variable. So step number 3 and 4 will indicate that A is my large as well as my second large. So large is assigned the value A, second large is assigned the value A. Now I have processed A. Now with B there are two possibilities. A possibility is a case like this where B is bigger than the large. In that case I will only change this large and make this as 2. So and second large will remain as it is. Now there is one more possibility. Suppose I had read this line first. Then my large would have been 2, second large also would have been 2. In this case, B would have not affected the value of large, but B would have affected the value of second large. From 2, this value 1 would have come. So these are the two cases I need to handle. So my first question is, if B is, as in this case, B is greater than large, then I am going to replace large with the value of B. So here is the question. If B is greater than large, then the value of B is assigned or copied into large. Now then we have a case like this where the value of B is not greater than large, but it is lesser than second large. So in the else condition, what I am going to do is I am going to say else if B is lesser than second large, then second large is going to get the value of B. So this way I have handled A, I have handled B. Now I need to handle C and D. With C and D, the thinking is a little different and it is same for both C and D. With C, what can happen is this number can be larger than this fellow, or he can be larger only than the second largest. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So suppose C is greater than large, then what I will do is, like in this first case, I will move 2 to second large and I will make 3 my new large. So this will deal with the case when C is bigger than the largest value. So my first question is like this. If C is greater than large, then what is going to happen is the value of second large is going to take the value of large. That means the value of large will be copied into second large and the value of large will be replaced with C. So this takes care of a condition like this. Now there is also a possibility. Suppose I had numbers like this. I had 4, 1 and I had 2 and say let's be here 9. This number doesn't matter. Now in this case my large would have been 4 and second large would have been 4 in the first step. In the second step my second large would have been 4 and 1 because this is 1. Now 2 is not greater than 4, but 2 is greater than 1. So my second large needs to be replaced. So in such a case, what I am going to do is I am going to use the else condition. So else if C is greater than second large, then only second large is replaced with the value of C. Alright. Now for D again I need to do the same process. D can be greater than the large. In that case I am going to make large the second large, and my new value of large is going to be the current value of D or the new value of D. So let's take this condition, 7th step. If D is greater than large, then I am moving large value into second large, and the new value of D I am making it as large. This is the next condition. Now there is also a possibility that D may be only greater than the second large. In that case, what I am going to say is, if D is greater than second large, then only the value of second large is replaced with D. Then finally what I am going to do is, in last step number 8, I am going to say second largest is S large. Now in order to ensure that this logic will work in every case, let us take certain sample inputs. So let us take an input something like this. Okay, our input can be 1, 2, 4 and 3. So this is the input I am going to try and see how it really works. So in order to test this input, I will also need to keep track of the value of large and second large. So I am reading A, B, C, D. A is 1, B is 2, C is 4 and D is 3. My large is A, second large is A. So my first large and second large happens to be 1, which is the value of A. So I have processed A now. Now when I come to B, B happens to be greater than the large. Okay, so I will just, this condition will be coming into picture. If B greater than large, 2 is greater than 1. So my new large is going to be the value of B. So my new large happens to be 2. Second large does not change. It is as it is because it is 1. Between two numbers, largest is 2, second largest is 1. So this else condition does not go. Now we come to the if. Now when we come to if, the value of C is 4. Now if you see 4, 4 is greater than 2 or greater than the largest value. So what I need to do is, in order to make 4 as the largest value, I first need to move this value here. So I am moving this value here in this step, and I am copying the value of C to large. So now it becomes 4 and 2. So if you see between these three numbers, my largest is 4 and second largest is 2. That means my logic is correct so far. Now let's take the next step. What we are going to do is, the else if will not go because we have already, the if condition is true. Now I am looking at D. The value of D is large. Is 3 greater than 4? No, this condition does not get executed. It will come here. Is D greater than 2? Yes. So only the second large value will change from 4 to 3. So this way it will print the message, right? Second largest is S large. So what I would request you to do is, taking a look at this algorithm, try different combinations of values of A, B, C and D, and assuming all the 4 values are unequal, this algorithm will work in every case to find the second largest of 4 unequal numbers.